The fluorescent lights of Bradford Tech Industries hummed softly as Rochelle Williams pushed her cleaning cart down the executive corridor, each step sending sharp pain through her ribs. She paused outside the CEO's office, steadying herself against the wall. The bandage on her left cheek felt tight, a constant reminder of the night before when Trevor had shoved her into the kitchen counter. Again. She took a breath and knocked, assuming the office was empty at 11 p.m. It always was. Come in. Her heart dropped. Vincent Bradford sat behind his massive glass desk, still in his crisp blue dress shirt, tie loosened, reviewing documents. At 42 he had built this tech company from nothing and everyone knew his story. Self-made millionaire. Brilliant mind. Fair boss. I'm sorry, Mr. Bradford. I didn't know you were still here. I can come back later. No, please come in. I'm just catching up on paperwork. He glanced up and his expression changed instantly. His eyes fixed on the bandage covering her cheekbone. Rochelle, what happened to your face? She touched the bandage instinctively. All this? I tripped yesterday. Clumsy me ran right into my bathroom door. Vincent set down his pen, his gaze steady and concerned. That must have been quite a fall. Are you all right? Yes, sir. Fine. Just a little bruise. She tried to smile, but it hurt. He stood, walking around the desk. That was when he noticed the way she held her left side, the slight limp when she moved toward the trash can. Vincent Bradford had not built a successful company by missing details. Rochelle, how long have you worked here? 3 years, Mr. Bradford. In 3 years you have never missed a day. You are always professional, always thorough. He paused. And I have never seen you injured before. She emptied his trash bin, avoiding eye contact. Accidents happen. They do. He moved closer, his voice gentle but firm. But that bandage is professionally applied. That is a hospital bandage. And the way you are holding your side tells me there is more going on than a simple trip. Tears burned behind her eyes. She could not do this. Not here. Not now. Mr. Bradford, I really should finish my rounds. Who hurt you? The question hung in the air between them. Rochelle felt the cart handle slip from her trembling fingers. The clatter echoed in the silent office. I can't. You can. And you should. Vincent pulled out his phone. I'm taking you to the hospital right now. We are going to make sure you are properly examined, and then we are going to talk about what happens next. No, please. I can't afford. My insurance does not. I'm not asking about your insurance. I am telling you that we are going to the emergency room, and I am taking care of it. All of it. Rochelle shook her head, panic rising. You don't understand. If he finds out I told anyone, if he knows I went to the hospital? Who is he? She closed her eyes. The truth felt like poison in her throat, but also like the only medicine that might save her. My boyfriend. Trevor. Vincent's jaw tightened, but his voice remained calm. How long? 6 months. Maybe 7. And tonight? What happened tonight? The dam broke. He came home angry. Said dinner was not ready fast enough. He pushed me and I hit the counter. Then he kicked me when I was down. My neighbor, Mrs. Chen, she heard me crying and called through the door. That scared him off. She drove me to urgent care for the bandage, but I couldn't afford the x-rays they wanted to do. Vincent was already moving, grabbing his jacket from the coat rack. Come on. My car is downstairs. Mr. Bradford, I can't. If I leave work early, I will get fired and I need this job. My daughter. You have a daughter? Amara. She's 7. She's staying with my sister right now because... Rochelle's voice cracked. Because I could not let her see me like this. Vincent stopped in front of her, his eyes serious but kind. Rochelle, listen to me very carefully. You are not going to get fired. You are not going to lose anything. What you are going to do is let me help you. Right now. Tonight. We are going to the hospital, we are going to make sure you are okay, and then we are going to figure out how to keep you and your daughter safe. Do you understand? Why would you do this for me? Because it is the right thing to do. Because no one should live in fear. Because I can help and so I will. He held out his hand. Please, Rochelle. Let me help you. She looked at his outstretched hand, then at his face. There was no pity there, only genuine concern and determination. Something inside her, something that had been breaking for months, finally gave way. Okay, she whispered. Vincent smiled, the first real smile she had seen from him in 3 years of cleaning his office. Good. Let's go. As they walked toward the elevator, Rochelle felt the weight on her shoulders shift slightly. Not gone but different. For the first time in months she was not alone. The elevator doors opened, and Vincent guided her inside with a gentle hand on her shoulder, careful to avoid her injured ribs. As they descended, he made a phone call. "Dr. Morrison? Vincent Bradford. I need a favor. I am bringing someone to the ER at Mercy General, and I need you to personally oversee her care." "Yes, tonight. We will be there in 15 minutes. He paused, listening. Multiple injuries. Possible broken ribs. Domestic violence situation. Another pause. "Thank you, James. I owe you." Rochelle stared at him. "You called a doctor directly?" "James Morrison is the head of emergency medicine at Mercy General. We went to college together. He will make sure you get the best care." The elevator reached the parking garage. Vincent's black Mercedes sat in his reserved spot, gleaming under the harsh lights. He opened the passenger door for her, waiting patiently as she eased herself into the seat, wincing at the pain. As he started the car, Rochelle finally asked the question that had been burning in her mind. "Why are you doing this? Really?" Vincent pulled out of the garage before answering. "When I was 10 years old, my mother was in a relationship with a man who hurt her. She hid it from everyone, including me, until one night it got so bad that our neighbor called the police. By the time they arrived, it was too late." He glanced at her, his expression somber. "She did not survive, Rochelle. And I have spent every day since then wishing that someone had helped her sooner. That someone had noticed. That someone had cared enough to step in." Tears rolled down Rochelle's cheeks. "I'm so sorry." "So am I. But tonight I can do what no one did for my mother. I can help you. And I will not take no for an answer." The rest of the drive passed in silence, but it was not uncomfortable. It was the silence of understanding, of a shared pain that connected two people who had been strangers just an hour before. When they pulled up to the emergency room entrance, Dr. Morrison was already waiting outside. He took one look at Rochelle and immediately called for a wheelchair. "Let's get you inside and see what we are dealing with," he said kindly. As the nurse wheeled her through the automatic doors, Rochelle looked back at Vincent, who was parking his car. For the first time in months, she felt something she had almost forgotten existed. "Oh, have you ever ignored a cry for help, thinking it was not your place to get involved? What if your silence cost someone everything?" Subscribe and comment below. Would you have done what Vincent did, or would you have looked the other way? The emergency room at Mercy General was surprisingly quiet for a Friday night. Dr. Morrison led Rochelle into a private examination room while Vincent handled the paperwork at the front desk, insisting that all bills be sent directly to him. A nurse named Patricia, a kind woman in her 50s with warm brown eyes, helped Rochelle change into a hospital gown. Each movement was agony, and Patricia's face grew more concerned with every wince. "Honey, you need to tell the doctor everything," Patricia said softly. "No more protecting anyone but yourself." "Okay." Rochelle nodded, tears sliding down her cheeks again. Dr. Morrison entered with a tablet and a gentle smile. "Rochelle, I am going to examine you, and then we will need to do some imaging. I need you to be completely honest with me about what happened and when. Can you do that?" "Yes." For the next 30 minutes, Rochelle told the truth. All of it. The first time Trevor hit her, 3 months into their relationship. How it had gotten worse. How she had tried to leave once, but he had found her at her sister's house and promised to change. How she had believed him because she wanted Amara to have a father figure, having lost her own father to cancer 2 years earlier. Dr. Morrison listened without judgment, making notes, his expression professional but compassionate. When she finished, he conducted a thorough examination, then ordered X-rays and a CT scan. Vincent sat in the waiting room, his phone buzzing with messages he ignored. His mind was on Rochelle and the fear he had seen in her eyes. It was the same fear he remembered in his mother's eyes during those last months, though he had been too young to understand it then. An hour later, Dr. Morrison emerged and gestured for Vincent to follow him to a private consultation room. 3 cracked ribs, facial contusions, bruising on her arms and back consistent with defensive wounds. There are older injuries too, some healed fractures in her left wrist that were never properly set. Dr. Morrison pulled up images on his computer. "This woman has been suffering for months, Vincent. Maybe longer. What does she need? Medically? Pain management, rest, monitoring. The ribs will heal on their own in 6 to 8 weeks if she avoids stress and physical labor. Emotionally?" He paused. "That is going to take much longer. I have already called our social worker and our domestic violence advocate. They are on their way." "Good. What else?" "She needs somewhere safe to stay. She told the nurse that she is afraid to go home. She is not going home. I will arrange something tonight." Dr. Morrison studied his old friend. You are really going all in on this, are you not? I am. Send me the bill for everything. Treatment, consultations, follow-ups, therapy, whatever she needs. Vincent, this could be expensive. I don't care. Send me the bill. Dr. Morrison smiled. You're a good man. Your mother would be proud. Vincent swallowed hard. I hope so. When Rochelle was finally settled back in the examination room, Vincent knocked softly before entering. She looked small in the hospital bed, the 4 in her arm delivering pain medication, her face pale against the white pillow. How are you feeling? He asked. Better. The medicine is helping. She hesitated. Mr. Bradford, I do not know how to thank you. The bill is taken care of. All of it. Every appointment, every medication, every follow-up. You do not pay a cent. Fresh tears spilled over. I can't accept. Yes, you can. And you will. This is not negotiable, Rochelle. Your only job right now is to heal and to keep yourself and Amara safe. That is it. But how will I ever repay you? By getting better. By being safe. By letting me help. He pulled a chair close to her bed. Now, we need to talk about where you are going to stay. Dr. Morrison says you should not be alone for at least a few days, and you absolutely cannot go back to your apartment. Panic flashed across her face. Trevor has a key. He will know I was at the hospital. He will come looking for me. Which is exactly why you are not going back there. I own a furnished apartment in a secure building downtown. It has been vacant for a few months. You and Amara can stay there as long as you need. Mr. Bradford, that is too much. It is a building I already own. The apartment is empty. You need somewhere safe. This makes perfect sense. He leaned forward. Rochelle, I am going to be very clear with you. I am offering help, and I need you to accept it without guilt or hesitation. You deserve safety. You deserve peace. You deserve a chance to rebuild your life without fear. Will you let me give you that? She closed her eyes, fresh tears escaping. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Good. Tomorrow we will move your things from your apartment. I will have movers there and security so Trevor cannot bother you. We will also file for a restraining order. I have a lawyer who specializes in these cases, and she is expecting your call. A lawyer? I can't afford. She works pro bono for situations like yours. No cost to you. Her name is Sharon Rodriguez, and she is the best in the state. She has already agreed to take your case. Rochelle covered her face with her hands, overwhelmed. Why are you doing all of this? Vincent's voice was quiet but firm. Because I can. Because you need it. Because no one should have to live the way you have been living. And because... He paused. Because someone should have done this for my mother and no one did. I cannot change the past, but I can change your future. If you will let me. A knock at the door interrupted them. A woman in her 30s with kind eyes and a warm smile entered. Hi, Rochelle. I am Angela Martinez, the domestic violence advocate here at the hospital. Dr. Morrison asked me to come talk with you, if that is okay. Vincent stood. I will give you some privacy. No, Rochelle said quickly. Please stay. If that is okay with you, Angela. Angela smiled. Of course. Whatever makes you comfortable. For the next hour, Angela walked Rochelle through the process of getting a restraining order, safety planning, and resources available to her. She also talked about counseling, support groups, and the emotional journey ahead. Vincent listened, taking mental notes, already planning how he could make each step easier for Rochelle. When Angela finally left, it was nearly 3 a.m. Dr. Morrison returned one last time. I am releasing you, Rochelle. You need rest, pain medication every 6 hours, and a follow-up in 1 week. No heavy lifting, no stress. Take it easy. He handed her a prescription. The pharmacy here is still open. They will fill this before you leave. Vincent took the prescription. I will handle it. Rochelle, wait here. I will bring the car around to the entrance. 20 minutes later, Rochelle sat in Vincent's Mercedes again, this time with a bag of medications, detailed care instructions, and a phone number for Sharon Rodriguez, the lawyer. Where does your sister live? Vincent asked. Riverside Apartments. Unit 12B. Let's go get Amara. Now. It is so late. Your sister is expecting us. I called her while you were with Angela. Rochelle stared at him. You called her? You gave the nurse her number as your emergency contact. I asked Dr. Morrison to have someone reach out and let her know what was happening. She has been worried about you for months, Rochelle. She was relieved to hear you were getting help. The drive to Riverside took 15 minutes. Rochelle's sister, Tamara, was waiting on her balcony, and she rushed down when Vincent's car pulled up. She looked so much like Rochelle, the same beautiful deep brown skin, the same expressive eyes, but without the fear. Tamara pulled Rochelle into a careful hug, both women crying. "Thank God. Thank God you finally got out." "I didn't get out. Mr. Bradford got me out." Tamara turned to Vincent, extending her hand. "Thank you. You have no idea how long I have been praying for someone to help her. She is safe now. That is what matters." Tamara ran upstairs and returned with a sleepy Amara in her arms. The little girl wore pink pajamas with unicorns on them, her hair in neat braids. "Mama?" Amara's eyes opened wide. "Mama, what happened to your face?" "I fell, baby. But I am okay. Mr. Bradford helped me." Amara looked at Vincent with curious brown eyes. "Thank you for helping my mama." Vincent's chest tightened. "You are very welcome, Amara." As they drove to the apartment, Amara fell back asleep in the back seat, her head on her mother's lap. Rochelle stroked her daughter's hair, and Vincent saw a fierce protectiveness in her eyes. "I will never let him near her again," Rochelle whispered. "Never. You won't have to. I promise you that." The apartment building was modern and secure, with a doorman and key card access. Vincent had called ahead, and the night manager met them in the lobby with keys. "Ms. Williams, welcome. I am Robert, the night manager. Mr. Bradford has arranged everything. If you need anything at all, just call the front desk." The apartment was on the 8th floor, spacious and bright, with 2 bedrooms, a full kitchen and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. It was furnished simply but comfortably, and it was spotlessly clean. Amara woke up as they entered and gasped. "Mama, is this ours?" "For now, baby. Yes. It is so pretty." She ran to the window. "Look at all the lights." Vincent showed them around quickly, pointing out the security features, the stocked pantry he had arranged, the linens in the closets. "Everything you need should be here. If something is missing, let me know." Rochelle stood in the middle of the living room, overwhelmed. "I do not know what to say." "Say good night. Get some rest. Tomorrow we will handle everything else." He handed her a business card with his personal cell phone number written on the back. "Call me anytime, day or night. If you need anything or if you feel unsafe, call me immediately. Mr. Bradford." "Vincent. Please call me Vincent." "Vincent. Thank you. For everything." He smiled. "You are welcome, Rochelle. Now get some sleep. You have had a long night." After he left, Rochelle tucked Amara into the smaller bedroom, kissing her forehead. "Sweet dreams, baby." "Mama, is Mr. Vincent an angel?" Rochelle smiled through her tears. "Maybe he is, baby. Maybe he is." She walked back to the living room and stood at the window looking out at the city lights. For the first time in months she felt safe. She felt hope. And she felt something else too. Gratitude. Deep, overwhelming gratitude. Tomorrow would bring challenges. Trevor would not let her go easily. There would be legal battles, difficult conversations, and hard days ahead. But tonight she was safe. Amara was safe. And someone, a man she barely knew, had stepped into her life and changed everything. Rochelle closed her eyes and whispered a prayer of thanks. Then she went to bed, and for the first time in months she slept without fear. Morning sunlight streamed through the apartment windows, waking Rochelle. For a moment she forgot where she was. Then the memories flooded back, everything from the night before, the hospital, Vincent Bradford, this beautiful safe space. She sat up slowly, her ribs protesting. The pain medication had worn off and she needed another dose. She reached for the pill bottle on the nightstand and swallowed a tablet with water from the glass Vincent had thoughtfully placed there. "Mama?" Amara appeared in the doorway, still in her unicorn pajamas. "Can we really stay here?" "Yes, baby. For as long as we need to." Amara ran and jumped on the bed, then stopped when she saw her mother wince. "Sorry, Mama. I forgot you are hurt." "It is okay. Come here." Rochelle pulled her daughter close, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo. "How about we make some breakfast?" The kitchen was indeed stocked, just as Vincent had promised. Fresh fruit, eggs, bread, milk, cereal, coffee. Everything they needed. Rochelle made scrambled eggs and toast while Amara explored the apartment, exclaiming over every new discovery. "Mama, there is a TV in my room. And look, the bathroom has a bathtub with jets." Rochelle smiled despite her pain. This apartment was nicer than anywhere they had ever lived. It felt almost too good to be true. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Good morning, Rochelle. This is Vincent. How are you feeling this morning?" She replied, "Better, thank you. The apartment is wonderful. I still cannot believe this is happening." His response came quickly, "Believe it. I am sending movers to your old apartment at noon. They will pack everything and bring it to you. Security will be with them. You do not need to go. Just text me a list of what you want packed." Rochelle felt tears prick her eyes again. She seemed to be crying constantly now, but these were different tears. Relief, gratitude, wonder. Another text came through. "Also, Sharon Rodriguez, the lawyer, will call you at 10 a.m. to discuss the restraining order. And I have arranged for a counselor named Dr. Lisa Chen to reach out about setting up sessions. All covered, no cost to you." Rochelle typed back, "Thank you. I do not know how I will ever repay your kindness. You already are. By accepting help and taking steps to be safe. That is enough." At exactly 10 a.m. Sharon Rodriguez called. She was efficient, compassionate, and direct. "Rochelle, I need you to tell me everything. Do not leave anything out, no matter how small it seems. Every incident, every threat, every injury. Can you do that?" For an hour, Rochelle recounted the nightmare of her relationship with Trevor. Sharon took detailed notes, asking clarifying questions, building a case. "We will file for an emergency restraining order this afternoon. Given the severity of the injuries and the pattern of abuse, I am confident we will get it. Trevor will be served with papers by tomorrow morning at the latest. He will be ordered to stay at least 500 feet away from you, Amara, your workplace, and this apartment. What if he does not follow the order? Then he goes to jail. Simple as that. And Rochelle, I want you to document everything from this point forward. If he tries to contact you, screenshot it. If he shows up somewhere, call the police immediately. Do not engage with him. Do not respond to messages. Let the law handle him." "Okay. I can do that." "Good. Vincent has also arranged for you to meet with a counselor. I strongly encourage you to follow through with that. Healing from this kind of trauma takes time and support." After the call, Rochelle felt exhausted but also relieved. Things were moving forward. She was taking action. She was not just surviving anymore. She was fighting back. At noon, her phone rang. It was Tamara. "Girl, there are movers at your apartment right now and they have security guards with them. What is going on?" "Vincent arranged it. They are packing my things." "Vincent? You are on a first-name basis with the Millionaire now." "Tamara, he has done more for me in 12 hours than anyone has done in 12 years. He is a good man." "Apparently. I am here watching. Trevor drove by twice already, but the security guys are not playing. He took one look at them and kept going." "Good. Let him be scared for once." The movers finished by 2 p.m., delivering 6 boxes, 2 suitcases, and Amara's toy chest to the new apartment. It was not much, but it was theirs. As Rochelle unpacked, sorting through clothes and books and memories, her phone rang again. "Vincent." "Hi, Rochelle. I wanted to check in. Did everything arrive okay?" "Yes, thank you. The movers were great." "Good. I also wanted to talk to you about something. Do you have a minute?" "Of course. Your job. As a night janitor. The hours, the physical labor. With your injuries, you cannot do that right now. Dr. Morrison said you need 6 to 8 weeks of light duty." Her heart sank. "I understand. I will take unpaid leave. I cannot afford to lose the job completely, but I understand." "Rochelle, stop. That is not what I am saying. What I am saying is that I want to offer you a different position. Facilities manager. It is a day shift, Monday through Friday in an office. You would oversee the cleaning staff, manage supply orders, coordinate with building maintenance. No physical labor. Triple your current salary, full benefits, and flexible hours so you can drop off and pick up Amara from school." Rochelle sat down hard on the couch. What? You have been working for my company for 3 years. In that time, you have never missed a shift, never done subpar work, and multiple employees have commented on how kind and helpful you are. You notice things, you solve problems, you care about doing a good job. Those are exactly the qualities I need in a facilities manager. The previous person just retired, and the position has been open for a month. I think you would be perfect for it. But I don't have experience managing. You have been working in facilities for 3 years. You know the job better than most managers I could hire. And I will provide training, support, whatever you need to succeed. What do you say?" Rochelle's voice shook. Yes, absolutely. Thank you." "Good. You start Monday. That gives you the weekend to settle in and rest. HR will send over the paperwork tomorrow." After they hung up, Rochelle sat in stunned silence. In less than 24 hours, her entire life had changed. She had a safe home, legal protection, medical care, counseling, and now a better job with better pay and hours that would let her actually be present for Amara. Mama, why are you crying? Amara climbed into her lap carefully. Happy tears, baby. These are happy tears. That evening, Vincent stopped by with more supplies. Groceries, cleaning products, toiletries, and a large envelope. What is this? Rochelle asked. Open it. Inside were papers from Sharon Rodriguez confirming that the emergency restraining order had been granted and that Trevor had been served. Also included was information about a private school near the apartment. Amara's current school is across town, near your old apartment. This school is 3 blocks away, highly rated, and they have an opening in the 2nd grade class. I took the liberty of setting up a tour for Monday morning if you are interested. Rochelle looked at the glossy brochure. The school had a beautiful campus, small class sizes, art and music programs. It was the kind of school she had always dreamed of for Amara but never thought she could afford. Vincent, I cannot afford private school tuition. The company has a scholarship fund for children of employees. Amara qualifies. Full tuition, books, supplies, even lunch. All covered. This is too much. You have already done so much. Vincent knelt down so he was eye level with her. Rochelle, I need you to hear me. This is not charity. This is not pity. This is me using the resources I have to help someone who deserves a better life. You work hard. You're a good mother. You survived something terrible and now you are building something better. Let me be part of that. Please. She nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. Vincent smiled and stood. Good. Now, Amara, I heard you like unicorns. Amara, who had been watching from the hallway, came forward shyly. Yes, sir. He pulled a stuffed unicorn from his bag, white and sparkly with a rainbow mane. Then this is for you. Amara's eyes went wide. For me? Really? Really? Every new home needs a unicorn, I think. Amara hugged the unicorn, then surprised everyone by hugging Vincent. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. Vincent looked startled but pleased. You are very welcome, Amara. As he left that evening, Rochelle walked him to the door. Vincent, I know I keep saying this, but thank you. For everything. You have given us more than safety. You have given us hope. You always had hope, Rochelle. You just needed someone to help you see it again. He paused at the door. Get some rest. Monday is a new beginning. After he left, Rochelle helped Amara get ready for bed. As she tucked her daughter in, Amara hugged her new unicorn and smiled. Mama, I like it here. I feel safe. Me too, baby. Me too. Rochelle returned to the living room and stood at the window again, looking out at the city. Somewhere out there, Trevor was angry, probably planning his next move. But for the first time, she was not afraid. She had protection. She had support. She had Vincent Bradford, a man who barely knew her but had chosen to change her life. She thought about Monday, about starting her new job, about touring the school with Amara, about all the possibilities ahead. And she smiled. Monday morning arrived bright and clear. Rochelle woke early, her ribs still sore but manageable with medication. She dressed carefully in a navy dress she had bought years ago but rarely wore, trying to look professional for her first day as facilities manager. Amara bounced around the apartment, excited about touring her potential new school. Do you think they have art class, Mama? I love art. The brochure said they do. Art, music, and even computers. At 8:30 a.m., they walked the 3 blocks to Riverside Academy. The building was beautiful, red brick with large windows and a playground that made Amara gasp with delight. Principal Janet Foster greeted them warmly. She was a tall woman in her 50s with silver hair and kind eyes. You must be Amara. Welcome. Would you like to see your classroom? Amara nodded eagerly, taking the principal's outstretched hand. The 2nd grade classroom was bright and cheerful, with student artwork covering the walls and a reading corner filled with books. The teacher, Miss Patterson, a young black woman with a bright smile and red blouse, welcomed them. Amara, we are so glad you might be joining us. Would you like to sit in on our morning lesson? While Amara settled in with the other students, Principal Foster walked Rochelle through the rest of the school. The library, the art room, the music room with its piano and drums, the computer lab. Vincent Bradford called me personally about Amara, Principal Foster said. He spoke highly of you and your daughter. We are honored to have her here. Thank you. This school is amazing. We pride ourselves on creating a safe, nurturing environment where every child can thrive. Amara will fit right in. By the time they returned to the classroom, Amara was laughing with 2 other girls, working on a drawing together. When she saw her mother, she ran over. Mama, can I go here? Please? They are so nice, and Miss Patterson said we get to do science experiments on Fridays. Rochelle looked at Principal Foster, who smiled. If you would like to enroll her, we can do the paperwork right now. She can start tomorrow. Yes. Absolutely yes. An hour later, all the forms were complete, and Amara was officially a student at Riverside Academy. As they walked back to the apartment, Amara chattered nonstop about her new school, her new teacher, her new friends. At noon, Rochelle arrived at Bradford Tech Industries. She had been in this building hundreds of times, but always at night, always alone with her cleaning cart. Walking through the main entrance in daylight, dressed for an office job, felt surreal. The receptionist, Kenji, smiled warmly. Ms. Williams, Mr. Bradford is expecting you. 10th floor, HR department. The HR manager, Barbara Thompson, a friendly woman with short blonde hair and green eyes, spent 2 hours walking Rochelle through her new position. Salary, benefits, responsibilities, company policies. You will have an office on the 8th floor, Barbara explained. You will supervise a team of 12 cleaning and maintenance staff. Your main responsibilities are scheduling, supply ordering, quality control, and serving as liaison between our facilities team and the rest of the company. I will do my best. I have no doubt. Vincent does not make hiring decisions lightly. If he thinks you are right for this job, you are. Barbara introduced her to the facilities team, a diverse group of men and women who seemed pleased to have a new manager. Several of them had worked alongside Rochelle during her night shifts and greeted her warmly. Finally, someone who actually knows how hard this job is, said Marcus, one of the day shift janitors. Her office was small but bright, with a desk, computer, filing cabinets, and a window overlooking the city. On the desk was a welcome basket with snacks, a coffee mug, and a note. Welcome to your new beginning. You're going to do great. Vincent. Rochelle sat in her chair, running her hands over the smooth desk surface. This was real. This was happening. She was not just a night janitor anymore. She was a facilities manager with an office and a team and a future. That afternoon, Vincent stopped by her office. How is the first day going? Good. A little overwhelming but good. Everyone has been so welcoming. They should be. You are a great addition to the team. He sat in the chair across from her desk. How was the school tour? Amazing. Amara starts tomorrow. She is so excited. Good. I am glad. He paused. Rochelle, I want to check in about something else. Sharon Rodriguez filed all the paperwork for the restraining order. Trevor has been served. Have you heard from him? He called twice yesterday. I did not answer. Then he sent text messages, angry ones, threatening me. I screenshotted everything and sent it to Sharon. Vincent's expression darkened. Good. Keep doing that. If he violates the restraining order, we will have him arrested immediately. I know. I am trying not to be scared, but you are. That is normal. It takes time to feel safe again. Are you seeing the counselor? Dr. Chin. Yes. My first session is Wednesday evening. Good. Keep me updated on how that goes if you are comfortable sharing. They talked for a few more minutes, and then Vincent left her to finish her first day. By 5 p.m., Rochelle was exhausted but satisfied. She had survived her first day. More than survived. She had succeeded. Over the next 2 weeks, life settled into a new rhythm. Amara thrived at Riverside Academy, coming home each day with stories about her friends and her classes. Rochelle grew more confident in her role as facilities manager, learning quickly and earning the respect of her team. Dr. Chen's counseling sessions were hard but helpful. They talked about trauma, about rebuilding self-worth, about recognizing the patterns that had led Rochelle into an abusive relationship in the first place. You are not broken, Dr. Chen said during their third session. You are healing. There is a big difference. Trevor continued to violate the restraining order with text messages and phone calls, all of which Rochelle documented. Finally, after his 7th violation, Sharon filed a motion for his arrest. 2 days later, he was picked up and spent 3 days in jail before being released with a stern warning from the judge. The calls and texts stopped after that. One Friday afternoon, 3 weeks into her new job, Vincent knocked on Rochelle's office door. Do you have a minute? Of course. I wanted to invite you and Amara to something. My sister, Diane, is having a family barbecue at her house this Sunday. Just family and close friends. She heard about you and would like to meet you both. No pressure, but I thought it might be nice. Rochelle hesitated. Are you sure? I do not want to intrude on family time. You would not be intruding. Diane specifically asked me to invite you. She has 2 daughters around Amara's age. I think they would get along. Then yes, we would love to come. Thank you. Sunday arrived warm and sunny. Vincent picked them up at 11 a.m., and they drove to Diane's house in the suburbs. It was a beautiful home with a large backyard where a dozen people were already gathered. Diane Bradford Williams was warm and welcoming, pulling Rochelle into a hug the moment they met. "I'm so glad you came. Vincent has told me so much about you." Her daughters, Sophia and Emma, both elementary school age, immediately claimed Amara and pulled her toward the playset in the backyard. Throughout the afternoon, Rochelle met Vincent's extended family and friends. Everyone was kind, treating her not like charity or a project, but like a valued guest. She helped Diane in the kitchen, laughed at stories about Vincent's childhood, and watched Amara play with new friends. At one point, Diane pulled her aside. "Thank you for coming today. It means a lot to Vincent having you here. He has done so much for me. This is the least I can do." Vincent does not do things out of obligation. He does them out of care. And I can see that he cares about you and Amara very much. Rochelle did not know how to respond to that, so she just smiled. As the sun set and family started to leave, Amara fell asleep in the car on the way home. Vincent carried her up to the apartment and laid her gently on her bed while Rochelle removed her shoes and covered her with a blanket. In the living room, Vincent lingered at the door. "Thank you for coming today. I know it can be hard meeting new people after everything you have been through. It was wonderful. Your family is lovely. They like you too. Diane texted me 3 times already saying how glad she is that I introduced you too." Rochelle laughed. "She is great. Her daughters are sweet too." "They are." Vincent paused, seeming to choose his words carefully. "Rochelle, I want you to know that you can always say no to me. To invitations, to offers, to anything. I never want you to feel obligated." "I do not feel obligated. I feel grateful. There is a difference." "Good. That is good." He smiled. "I should let you get some rest. Big week ahead." After he left, Rochelle realized something that both surprised and did not surprise her. She was starting to care about Vincent Bradford as more than just her boss or her benefactor. She was starting to care about him as a person, as a friend, and maybe, eventually, as something more. The thought scared her. It was too soon. She was not ready. But it was there, a small seed of possibility, growing quietly in the safe space he had helped her create. 3 months passed. Autumn arrived with crisp air and colorful leaves. Rochelle's ribs healed completely, and she grew more confident in her role as facilities manager. Her team respected her, her boss, the operations director, praised her work, and she was finally starting to feel like she belonged. Amara flourished at Riverside Academy. She brought home artwork, stories she had written, and glowing reports from Miss Patterson. She had a group of close friends and was even invited to birthday parties on weekends. Trevor had gone silent. No calls, no texts, no attempts to contact her. Sharon Rodriguez said that was normal after someone spent time in jail for violating a restraining order. "He finally understands there are real consequences," Sharon explained. But Rochelle still felt uneasy sometimes, especially when walking to and from the apartment at night. Dr. Chin said it would take time for her nervous system to calm down, to stop looking over her shoulder, to believe she was truly safe. Vincent remained a steady presence in her life. He checked in regularly, not in an overbearing way but in a way that made her feel cared for. Sometimes they had coffee in his office and talked about work. Sometimes he stopped by her office just to say hello. Once, he brought Amara a book about unicorns that he had seen and thought she might like. One Wednesday evening in late October, after her counseling session with Dr. Chin, Rochelle sat in her car in the parking lot and called Tamara. "How did it go?" her sister asked. "Good. Hard but good. We talked about trust today. About how hard it is to trust again after someone breaks you." "Are you talking about Trevor? Or someone else?" Rochelle paused. "What do you mean?" "Girl, you know what I mean. Vincent. You talk about him constantly. And from what I have seen, he is a good man. But you are scared." "Of course I am scared. The last time I trusted a man, he put me in the hospital. Vincent is not Trevor." "I know that. I do. But what if I am wrong again? What if I miss the signs?" "Rochelle, there are no signs. Vincent has been nothing but kind, respectful, and supportive for months. He has not asked you for anything. He has not tried to control you. He has just been there helping you build a better life. That is not a red flag. That is just goodness." After they hung up, Rochelle sat with her thoughts. Tamara was right. Vincent had never been anything but genuine. But the fear was still there lurking. The next day, Vincent knocked on her office door around 3 p.m. "Hey, do you have a few minutes? I want to talk to you about something." Her heart jumped. "Of course. Come in." He sat down and she noticed he looked more serious than usual. "I want to share something with you. Something I have not talked about much, but I think you should know. Okay. You know I lost my mother to domestic violence when I was 10. What I have not told you is that for years afterward, I blamed myself. I thought if I had been older, stronger, smarter, I could have protected her. It took a long time and a lot of therapy to realize that I was just a kid, and it was not my fault. Rochelle's chest tightened. Vincent, I am telling you this because I want you to understand why I do what I do. Why I insist on helping you. It is not pity. It is not some hero complex. It is because I know what it is like to feel powerless, and I know what it is like to need someone and not have anyone show up. I could not help my mother, but I can help you. And that matters to me. She blinked back tears. Thank you for telling me that. There is something else. After my mother died, I was raised by my aunt. She was wonderful, but I struggled. I was angry, scared, I did not trust anyone. It took years to work through that. So when I see you struggling with trust, with fear, with all of it, I understand. I have been there. You have done so much for me, Vincent. I wish I could repay you somehow. You already are. By showing up every day. By being a good mother to Amara. By doing the hard work of healing. That is enough. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Vincent cleared his throat. Actually, there is something you could do for me if you are willing. Anything. Next month, I am giving a speech at a fundraiser for a domestic violence shelter. It is something I do every year in my mother's memory. I would like you to come if you are comfortable with it. Not as my employee but as my guest. Rochelle's first instinct was to say no, to hide, to avoid anything that made her trauma public. But then she thought about all the women still trapped in situations like hers, still afraid, still alone. Yes, I would be honored. Vincent smiled, and Rochelle noticed, not for the first time, how warm his smile was. Thank you. It is a formal event, so dress up. I will send you the details. Over the next few weeks they spent more time together. Sometimes it was work-related, discussing facility upgrades or staff scheduling. But sometimes it was just conversation. They discovered they both loved old movies, that they both hated mushrooms, that they both had terrible singing voices but sang anyway when their favorite songs came on the radio. One evening, Vincent stayed late at the office to finish a presentation. Rochelle was also working late, catching up on paperwork. Around 7 p.m., she knocked on his door with 2 cups of coffee from the break room. Thought you might need this. You are a lifesaver. He gestured to the chair across from his desk. Take a break with me? They talked for an hour, the conversation flowing easily from work to family to childhood memories. Vincent shared stories about building his company from nothing, the failures and the successes. Rochelle talked about her dreams of eventually going back to school, maybe getting a degree in business management. You should do it, Vincent said. You would be great. Maybe. Once Amara is a little older, once I have saved some money. Rochelle, if you want to go back to school, you should. Do not wait for the perfect time. It never comes. I will think about it. As she left his office that night, Vincent walked her to the elevator. Be careful going home. Call me when you get there so I know you are safe. You do not have to worry about me. I know I do not have to. I want to. The way he said it, the look in his eyes, made Rochelle's heart skip. This was more than kindness. More than obligation. This was genuine care. And it terrified her. That night, lying in bed, she thought about Vincent. About the way he made her feel safe, valued, seen. About the way Amara lit up when he was around. About the way her own heart was starting to open again, despite her fear. Dr. Chin had told her that healing was not linear. That there would be setbacks and breakthroughs, fear and courage, all mixed together. You do not have to have it all figured out, Dr. Chin had said. You just have to keep moving forward. Rochelle decided that was what she would do. Keep moving forward. Keep trusting a little more each day. Keep believing that maybe, just maybe, goodness was real. The fundraiser was 2 weeks away. Diane had taken her shopping, insisting on buying her a beautiful green dress for the occasion. You are going to look stunning, Diane said. Vincent will not be able to take his eyes off you. Diane, it is not like that. Sure it is not. Diane grinned. Keep telling yourself that. The truth was, Rochelle did not know what it was. But she was starting to think that maybe, eventually, when she was ready, it could be something. And that thought, scary as it was, filled her with hope. If someone showed you this kind of kindness when you needed it most, would you have the courage to accept it? Or would fear hold you back? Drop a comment below and subscribe to see how Rochelle's journey unfolds. The night of the fundraiser arrived cold and clear. Rochelle stood in front of her bathroom mirror, smoothing down her green dress. It was simple but elegant, fitted at the waist and flowing to her knees. Diane had also insisted on taking her to get her hair done, and now it fell in soft curls around her shoulders. "Mama, you look like a princess," Amara said from the doorway. "Thank you, baby. Now remember, you are staying with Aunt Tamara tonight. Be good." "I will. Tell Mr. Vincent I said hi." Vincent arrived at 6 p.m. sharp, dressed in a black tuxedo that made him look even more handsome than usual. When Rochelle opened the door, his eyes widened. "Wow. You look beautiful." She felt her cheeks warm. "Thank you. You clean up pretty well yourself." The drive to the hotel where the fundraiser was being held took 20 minutes. The ballroom was already filling with well-dressed guests, a string quartet playing softly in the corner. Everywhere Rochelle looked, she saw wealth and elegance. "I am a little out of my depth here," she whispered to Vincent. "You fit in perfectly. Trust me." He introduced her to dozens of people. Business associates, friends, donors. Everyone was polite and welcoming. Several people mentioned how much they respected Vincent's annual commitment to this cause. Dinner was served at round tables of 8. Rochelle found herself seated between Vincent and a kind older couple who owned a chain of restaurants. The conversation was pleasant, easy, and for the first time in a long time, Rochelle felt like she belonged in a space like this. After dinner, the executive director of the domestic violence shelter gave a brief speech about their work. Then Vincent was introduced. He walked to the podium with confidence, but Rochelle could see the emotion in his eyes as he began to speak. "Thank you all for being here tonight. 28 years ago, my mother lost her life to domestic violence. I was 10 years old and I did not understand why no one had helped her. Why no one had noticed. Why no one had stepped in before it was too late." The room was silent, everyone listening intently. As I got older, I realized that people did not help because they did not know how. Or they were afraid to get involved. Or they thought it was none of their business. But violence behind closed doors is everyone's business. Because it destroys lives. It destroys families. It destroys futures. He paused, his gaze sweeping the room. "That is why this shelter matters. That is why your donations tonight matter. Because they provide safety, resources, and hope to people who have none. They step in when no one else will. They say, 'We see you, we believe you, we will help you.'" Rochelle felt tears sliding down her cheeks. She was not alone. Several other women in the room were crying too. "This year, I have had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the impact that intervention and support can have. I have seen someone rebuild their life from nothing. I have seen courage and strength and resilience that humbles me. And I have been reminded that we all have the power to change someone's story, if we just choose to care." His eyes found Rochelle's across the room and he smiled. "So tonight I am asking you to care. To donate generously. To support this shelter and the incredible work they do. Because somewhere out there someone needs help. And we can be the ones who provide it." The applause was thunderous. People stood, wiping their eyes, reaching for their wallets and checkbooks. By the end of the evening, the shelter had raised over $500,000. As they walked to Vincent's car, Rochelle was quiet, processing everything. "Are you okay?" Vincent asked. "Yes. Your speech was powerful. Thank you for including me tonight. Thank you for being here." They drove back toward Rochelle's apartment, the city lights streaking past the windows. Rochelle felt content, peaceful, happy in a way she had not felt in years. And then her phone rang. The number was blocked. Her stomach dropped. She should not answer. But something made her press the button. "Hello. You think you are so smart, don't you?" Trevor's voice was slurred, angry. "Living in your fancy apartment, working your fancy job, pretending you are better than me." Rochelle's blood went cold. "How did you get this number?" "I have my ways. You cannot hide from me forever, Rochelle. You are mine." Vincent, seeing her face go pale, pulled over immediately. "Put him on speaker." She did. "Who is that?" Trevor demanded. "You got a new man already? You move on that fast." "Trevor, you are violating the restraining order," Vincent said calmly. "This call is being recorded and we will be forwarding it to the police and Rochelle's lawyer." "Who the hell are you?" "Someone who is not afraid of you. Now listen carefully. You will not contact Rochelle again. You will not go near her, her daughter, or her home. If you do, you will go to jail. Do you understand?" Trevor laughed bitterly. "You think I am scared of jail? I already did 3 days. I can do more. Then I will make sure you do. A lot more. Stay away from her." Vincent ended the call and immediately dialed Sharon Rodriguez, leaving a message about the violation. Then he called the police non-emergency line to file a report. Rochelle sat frozen, shaking. How did he get my new number? I do not know, but we will find out. And we will stop him. Vincent drove her home, insisting on walking her up to her apartment. Once inside, he checked every room, every window, every lock. I am going to call building security and have them put Trevor's photo on alert. If he shows up here, they will call the police immediately. Vincent, I am scared. He turned to her, his expression serious but gentle. I know, but you are safe here. This building has excellent security. You have a restraining order. And you have me. I promise you he will not hurt you again. How can you promise that? Because I will not let him. I will do whatever it takes to keep you and Amara safe. Whatever it takes. Rochelle believed him. She had to. Over the next 2 days, Trevor called 3 more times, each call more threatening than the last. Sharon filed an emergency motion, and a judge issued a warrant for Trevor's arrest for multiple restraining order violations. On Wednesday morning, 2 police officers came to Rochelle's office. Trevor had been picked up and was being held without bail pending a hearing. He will likely face jail time, Ms. Williams, one officer explained. Multiple violations, threats, harassment. The judge takes this seriously. After they left, Rochelle sat at her desk, relief washing over her. He was locked up. He could not hurt her. Not right now. Vincent appeared in her doorway. I heard. Are you okay? I am. Thank you. For everything you have done. You do not have to thank me. Yes, I do. You have been my protector, my advocate, my friend. I do not know what I would have done without you. Vincent stepped into her office and closed the door. Rochelle, I need to tell you something. And I need you to just listen, okay? Her heart raced. Okay. When I first helped you, it was because I saw someone who needed help and I had the resources to provide it. But over these past few months, something has changed. You have become important to me. Not just as an employee. Not just as someone I am helping. But as a person I care about. A person I respect. A person I have feelings for. Rochelle's breath caught. I am not asking you for anything, Vincent continued quickly. I know you are still healing. I know you are not ready for anything like that. And that is okay. I just needed you to know. Because I do not want to hide it anymore. I care about you, Rochelle. A lot. She stood, her legs shaky. Vincent, you do not have to say anything. I just wanted to be honest with you. No, I want to say something. She took a breath. I care about you too. More than I should, probably. More than I am ready for. But it is there. And it scares me. I know. Believe me, I know. I do not want to rush into anything. I need time. You have all the time you need. I am not going anywhere. They stood there, looking at each other, the truth finally out in the open. It was terrifying and wonderful all at once. Can we just take this slow? Rochelle asked. As slow as you need. She smiled. Okay. Good. Vincent smiled back. Okay. Good. As he left her office, Rochelle sat back down, her heart pounding. She had just admitted she had feelings for Vincent Bradford. And he had feelings for her. It was too soon. It was too fast. It was everything she had said she did not want. But it was also real. And honest. And maybe, just maybe, it was exactly what she needed. Thanksgiving arrived, and with it, an invitation from Diane for Rochelle and Amara to join the Bradford family for dinner. Rochelle hesitated at first, not wanting to intrude on family traditions, but Diane was insistent. You are part of our lives now. Both of you. Please come. Diane's home was filled with warmth and laughter on Thanksgiving Day. Extended family members Rochelle had not met before welcomed her kindly. Vincent's aunt, the woman who had raised him after his mother's death, was especially sweet, pulling Rochelle aside at one point. Vincent has not brought anyone to Thanksgiving in 5 years, she said quietly. The fact that you are here means something. We are just friends. Of course you are. She smiled knowingly. For now. Amara spent the day playing with Sophia and Emma, the 3 girls becoming fast friends. They played board games, watched movies, and built a fort out of blankets in the living room. After dinner, while the kids were occupied, the adults sat around the table drinking coffee and sharing stories. Rochelle found herself laughing more than she had in years, feeling genuinely welcomed and valued. Later, as Vincent drove them home, Amara was asleep in the back seat again, exhausted from playing all day. Thank you for including us today, Rochelle said. Your family is wonderful. They loved having you. Diane has already invited you to Christmas. That is months away. She plans ahead. He smiled. But seriously, you are always welcome. My family has kind of adopted you too. I have noticed. It is nice having people care. They pulled up to her apartment building. Vincent carried Amara upstairs again while Rochelle unlocked the door. After tucking Amara into bed, they stood in the living room, neither quite ready to say goodnight. "Can I ask you something?" Rochelle said. "Anything." "Why me? You could help anyone. You have the resources to make a difference for so many people. But you have focused so much time and energy on me and Amara. Why?" Vincent thought for a moment before answering. "Honestly, I do not know if I can explain it completely. That first night when I saw the bandage on your face and the fear in your eyes, something just clicked. I saw my mother. I saw every person who has ever suffered in silence. And I knew I had to help. But then I got to know you. I saw your strength, your determination, your love for Amara. And somewhere along the way it stopped being about obligation or guilt. It became about caring. About wanting to see you thrive. About wanting to be part of your life." Rochelle felt tears prick her eyes. "I am glad you are part of my life." "Me too." They stood there, the air between them charged with possibility. Vincent reached out and gently took her hand. "I meant what I said. We go as slow as you need. But I want you to know I am here. For whatever you need. Always." "I know. And I am grateful." He squeezed her hand once, then let go. "Good night, Rochelle." "Good night, Vincent." After he left, Rochelle sat on the couch, thinking about how much her life had changed. 6 months ago she was trapped, afraid, alone. Now she had a safe home, a good job, a daughter who was thriving, and a man who cared about her in a way that felt genuine and safe. Dr. Chin had told her in their last session that she was making remarkable progress. "You are not the same person you were 6 months ago," Dr. Chin had said. "You are stronger, more confident, more willing to accept good things." That is huge. Was huge. And it was all because Vincent had chosen to care. The next week, Rochelle made a decision. She called the local community college and asked about their business management program. The advisor she spoke with was encouraging. "We have classes starting in January. With your work experience, you could potentially test out of some of the introductory courses." "How much is tuition?" The number made her wince, but the advisor mentioned scholarships and financial aid. "Let me send you some information. I think you would be a great candidate for several of our programs." That evening, Rochelle was reviewing the college materials when Vincent called. "Hey, are you busy?" "Just looking at college information." "You decided to go back to school?" "I'm thinking about it. The program starts in January." "That is fantastic. What made you decide?" "You did. You told me not to wait for the perfect time. So I am not waiting." Vincent's voice was warm with pride. "I'm so glad. You are going to do great." "I hope so. The tuition is expensive, but they have financial aid." "Rochelle, the company has an education assistance program for employees. We will cover half your tuition. And I will personally cover the other half." "Vincent, no. You have already done too much. This is not charity. This is an investment. You are going to get your degree and then you are going to be even more valuable to this company. It makes perfect business sense." "You are just saying that." "I am absolutely not just saying that. You have been a fantastic facilities manager. I can only imagine what you will accomplish with more education and training. Let me do this, please." She wanted to argue, but she also wanted to go to school. And if Vincent was offering to help, was it so wrong to accept? "Okay. Thank you." "You are welcome. Now go fill out those applications." Over the next few weeks, Rochelle applied to the college, met with advisors and registered for spring classes. She would be taking 2 courses to start: Introduction to Business and Business Communications. Both were evening classes, so she could still work full-time and be home for Amara after school. Vincent also arranged for Rochelle to meet with several successful businesswomen in his network, women who had built careers from humble beginnings. Each conversation was encouraging and inspiring. One woman, Felicia Grant, a vice president at a marketing firm, told Rochelle, "The fact that you are doing this while working full-time and raising a daughter alone is incredible. Do not ever doubt yourself. You are capable of amazing things." Christmas approached, and true to her word, Diane invited Rochelle and Amara to the family celebration. This time, Rochelle brought homemade cookies and a sense of belonging. She was not a guest anymore. She was part of the family. Vincent gave Amara a deluxe art set with paints, brushes, canvases, and a small easel. Her eyes went wide with delight. "This is the best present ever." He gave Rochelle a leather-bound planner and a beautiful pen. "For your college classes. I figured you would need to stay organized." "It is perfect. Thank you." She gave him a framed photo she had taken of him and Amara at the Thanksgiving dinner, both of them laughing at something Diane had said. I thought you might like a memory. Vincent stared at the photo, his expression soft. I love it. Thank you. That evening, after Amara had fallen asleep and the party had wound down, Vincent walked Rochelle out to his car. Snow was falling softly, covering everything in white. This has been a good Christmas, Rochelle said. The best I have had in years, Vincent agreed. They stood there in the snow and without thinking Rochelle reached out and took his hand. He looked surprised but pleased, his fingers closing around hers. Thank you, Vincent. For everything. For saving me. For believing in me. For caring. You saved yourself, Rochelle. I just opened the door. She stood on her toes and kissed his cheek softly. You did more than that. You changed my life. Vincent's eyes were bright with emotion. You changed mine too. As they drove home that night, Amara asleep in the back seat and snow falling around them, Rochelle felt something she had not felt in a long time. Peace. True deep peace. And the certainty that whatever came next she would be ready for it. Spring arrived with blossoming trees and warmer days. Rochelle finished her first semester of college with straight A's, earning praise from her professors and pride from Vincent. Amara completed third grade at the top of her class, her confidence soaring. Trevor remained in jail, serving a year-long sentence for multiple restraining order violations and harassment. Sharon Rodriguez assured Rochelle that when he was released, he would be on probation and subject to strict monitoring. He will not bother you again, Sharon said confidently. He knows the consequences now. Rochelle's counseling sessions with Dr. Chin continued, though less frequently now. Once a month instead of once a week. The nightmares had stopped. The constant fear had faded. She was healing, truly healing. At work, Rochelle excelled. Her team ran smoothly, expenses were under budget, and several executives had commented on the noticeable improvement in facility management since she had taken over. One afternoon in late April, Vincent called her into his office. She expected a routine update, but instead he gestured to a chair and pulled out a folder. I want to show you something. Inside were documents outlining a proposal for restructuring the facilities department. Creating a new position, Director of Operations. The job description included overseeing not just facilities, but also security, vendor relations, and general building operations. I do not understand, Rochelle said. I want you to apply for this position. Vincent, I have only been facilities manager for less than a year. I am still in school. And you have already proven you can handle more responsibility. You are organized, detail-oriented, great with people, and you understand how this company operates from the ground up. Literally. He smiled. I am not handing you the job. You will have to interview with the board. But I am encouraging you to apply. What about my current position? We will promote one of your team members. Marcus has expressed interest in management. It would be a good opportunity for him. Rochelle looked at the job description again. The salary was nearly double what she currently made. The benefits were even better. And it was a chance to prove herself at a higher level. You really think I can do this? I know you can. She took a breath. Okay. I will apply. Good. The interview is next Wednesday. Prepare well. Over the next week, Rochelle worked harder than she ever had. She prepared a presentation showcasing the improvements she had made in facilities management, cost savings she had achieved, and ideas for future enhancements. She practiced her interview answers with Diane, who was more than happy to help. On Wednesday, she walked into the conference room wearing her navy suit, her heart pounding. 5 board members sat around the table, including Vincent, who gave her an encouraging smile. For 45 minutes, she answered questions, presented her ideas, and demonstrated her knowledge of the company's operations. When it was over, she had no idea if she had done well or not. 2 days later, Vincent called her into his office again. This time the entire board was there. Ms. Williams, the board chair, an older gentleman named Richard Foster, said with a smile. We were all very impressed with your interview and your work over the past year. We would like to offer you the position of Director of Operations, effective immediately. Rochelle felt tears spring to her eyes. Thank you. I accept. The room erupted in applause. Vincent's smile was the widest she had ever seen. After the meeting, she returned to her office, still in shock. She had just been promoted to a director-level position. She was now one of the youngest directors in the company's history. That evening, Vincent took her and Amara out to dinner to celebrate. They went to a nice restaurant downtown, one with cloth napkins and multiple forks. Amara wore her favorite blue dress, and Rochelle wore the green dress from the fundraiser. I am so proud of you, Vincent said, raising his glass of water in a toast. You have worked incredibly hard and you deserve this. I could not have done it without you. You absolutely could have. But I am glad I got to be part of your journey. Amara, not quite understanding but excited nonetheless, raised her apple juice. To Mama. To Mama, Vincent echoed. As they ate, Rochelle reflected on how far she had come. From a woman afraid for her life, to a student, to a director. It was more than she had ever dreamed possible. After dinner they walked through the city park, Amara running ahead to look at the flowers. Vincent and Rochelle walked slowly side by side. Can I ask you something? Vincent said. Always. How are you feeling? About everything? About us. Rochelle had known this conversation was coming. They had been dancing around it for months, growing closer but never quite defining what they were to each other. I feel good. Scared sometimes but good. You have been so patient with me, Vincent. I know it has not been easy. It has been worth it. I am not broken anymore. Or at least I am not as broken as I was. Dr. Chin says I have made remarkable progress. And I think I am ready to move forward. With you. If you still want that. Vincent stopped walking and turned to face her. Rochelle, I have wanted that since the moment I met you. But I need you to be sure. I need you to know that I am not him. I will never hurt you. I will never control you. I will never make you afraid. I know that. I do. And I am ready to try. To see where this goes. Slowly but together. Vincent smiled and it was like sunshine breaking through clouds. Slowly sounds perfect. He took her hand and they stood there in the park, flowers blooming around them, Amara laughing in the distance. Felt like a new beginning. A real one this time. Over the next few weeks they went on their first official date. Dinner and a movie, simple and sweet. Then a second date, a concert in the park. Then a third, a day trip to a nearby museum that Amara loved. Each date, Rochelle felt more comfortable, more certain. Vincent was patient, respectful, never pushing, always listening. He made her laugh. He made her feel safe. He made her believe that love could be gentle. One evening, 3 months into their relationship, Vincent came to her apartment for dinner. Rochelle had cooked spaghetti, Amara's favorite, and the three of them sat around the small kitchen table like a family. After dinner, Amara went to her room to work on a drawing, leaving Vincent and Rochelle alone. I have something to tell you, Rochelle said. I finished my first year of college. All A's. And I have been accepted into the full business management program. That is incredible. Congratulations. I could not have done it without you. Your support, your encouragement, your belief in me. It means everything. You did the hard work, Rochelle. I just cheered you on. She reached across the table and took his hand. You did more than that. You gave me a future. You gave me hope. You gave me love when I thought I did not deserve it. Vincent squeezed her hand. You have always deserved it. You just needed to see it. They sat there, hands clasped, the evening light streaming through the windows. Amara's laughter drifted from her room. And Rochelle thought about how this felt like home. Not just the apartment but this. The three of them together. I love you, she said, the words surprising even herself. Vincent's eyes widened, then filled with emotion. I love you too. I have for a long time. I know. I just needed time to catch up. He laughed softly. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. I know that now. They leaned across the table and kissed, soft and sweet and full of promise. It was a first kiss that felt like coming home. Like the end of a long journey and the beginning of a new one. When they pulled apart, Amara was standing in the doorway with her drawing. Did you just kiss? She asked, grinning. Rochelle laughed. Maybe. Good. I like Mr. Vincent. Can he be my dad? Both adults froze. Then Vincent knelt down so he was eye level with Amara. I would be honored to be in your life, Amara. In whatever way feels right for you and your mama. What do you think? Amara threw her arms around his neck. I think yes. Vincent hugged her back, his eyes meeting Rochelle's over the little girl's head. And Rochelle knew in that moment that her life had truly changed. Not just survived. Not just rebuilt. Transformed. Summer passed in a blur of happiness. Vincent and Rochelle's relationship deepened, built on a foundation of trust, respect, and genuine care. They went on picnics with Amara, attended her school events together, and spent quiet evenings watching movies in Rochelle's apartment. Vincent integrated seamlessly into their lives, never pushing, always respecting boundaries. He helped Amara with her homework, attended her school play, and celebrated every small victory with genuine enthusiasm. Rochelle continued to excel in school and at work. Her second semester brought more challenging courses, but she tackled them with determination. At Bradford Tech, she implemented new systems that improved efficiency and reduced costs. The board was thrilled with her performance. Trevor was released from jail in August but immediately violated probation by attempting to contact Rochelle through a fake social media account. He was arrested again within 48 hours and sent back to serve an additional 6 months. Sharon Rodriguez was satisfied. "He is learning the hard way that there are consequences," she said. One evening in September, Vincent invited Rochelle to dinner at his apartment. She had never been there before. It was a beautiful penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, decorated simply but elegantly. "This is stunning," she said, looking around. "It is too big for one person," Vincent admitted. "I bought it years ago thinking I would fill it with family someday. That never happened." "Why not?" Vincent poured them each a glass of wine and led her to the balcony. The city lights sparkled below them, the night air warm and pleasant. "After my mother died, I buried myself in work. Building the company, making money, proving myself. I dated occasionally but nothing serious. I told myself I did not have time for a relationship. But the truth was I was afraid. Afraid of what? Of caring too much. Of losing someone again. Of repeating the past." He looked at her. "And then I met you. And I realized that fear is no way to live." Rochelle set down her glass and moved closer to him. "You changed my life, Vincent. You gave me safety, opportunity, hope. But you gave me something even more important." "What?" "You taught me that love does not have to hurt. That someone can care for you without controlling you. That kindness is real." She took his hands. "I spent so long believing I did not deserve good things. But you showed me that I do. And I am so grateful." Vincent pulled her into his arms, holding her close. "You deserve everything good, Rochelle. Every single thing." They stood there on the balcony, wrapped in each other's arms, the city glittering around them. And Rochelle felt, for the first time in her life, completely safe, completely loved, completely whole. "I have something to ask you," Vincent said, pulling back slightly. "Okay. I know we have been taking this slow. And I respect that. But I also know what I want. I want a future with you and Amara. I want to build a life together. I want to be a family." He paused. "I am not asking you to marry me tonight. But I am asking if you can see that future. If you want that too." Rochelle's heart swelled. "Yes, I want that. I want all of that." Vincent's smile was radiant. "Good. Because I love you both so much and I cannot imagine my life without you in it. We love you too." They kissed, long and deep, the kind of kiss that promised forever. And when they finally pulled apart, both were smiling. "So what happens now?" Rochelle asked. "Now we keep doing what we have been doing. Taking it one day at a time. Building trust. Building love. And when the time is right, we take the next step." "That sounds perfect." They spent the rest of the evening talking, making plans, dreaming about the future. Rochelle talked about finishing college and maybe pursuing a master's degree eventually. Vincent talked about expanding the company and creating more opportunities for employees to advance. Around midnight, Vincent drove Rochelle home. Tamara had been watching Amara and was asleep on the couch when they arrived. "Thank you again," Rochelle whispered to Tamara as her sister woke. "Girl, you look happy. Really happy." "I am. For the first time in my life, I really am." After Tamara left, Rochelle checked on Amara, who was fast asleep clutching her unicorn. She kissed her daughter's forehead and whispered, "We are going to be okay, baby. Better than okay." Over the next few months, Vincent became more involved in their daily lives. He started joining them for Sunday dinners, helping Amara with science projects, and attending Rochelle's college presentations. One evening in November, after Amara had gone to bed, Vincent and Rochelle sat on the couch, her head resting on his shoulder. "I have been thinking," Vincent said. "About what?" "About the future. About us. About making this official." Rochelle sat up, her heart racing. "Official how?" Vincent reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. "Rochelle Williams, I know we said we would take this slow. And we have. But I also know that you are the person I want to spend my life with. You and Amara. You are my family and I want to make it permanent." He opened the box, revealing a simple but beautiful diamond ring. "Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down Rochelle's face. "Yes. Yes, 1,000 times yes." Vincent slipped the ring on her finger and kissed her. It fit perfectly, just like everything else about their relationship. "Should we tell Amara now?" Rochelle asked, laughing through her tears. "Let's wait until morning. Let's have this moment, just us." They spent the rest of the night talking about wedding plans, about where they would live, about the future they would build together. It was late when Vincent finally left, and Rochelle stood at the door watching him go, the ring sparkling on her finger. The next morning they told Amara over breakfast. She squealed with delight, jumping up and down. "I am going to be a flower girl, right?" "Absolutely," Vincent said, laughing. "And can I call you Dad?" Vincent's eyes filled with tears. "I would love that." Amara ran around the table and hugged him. "I love you, Dad." "I love you too, sweetheart." Rochelle watched them, her heart so full it felt like it might burst. This was her family. This was her future. This was everything she had ever wanted and more. That afternoon they called everyone to share the news. Tamara cried happy tears. Diane screamed with excitement. The Bradford family was thrilled. Finally, Diane said, "I have been waiting for this since Thanksgiving." Over the next few weeks they made plans. A simple wedding, just family and close friends. Spring, when the flowers would be blooming. At Diane's house, in the backyard where they had shared so many happy moments. Rochelle continued school, now in her 3rd semester. She was halfway through her degree, and her professors encouraged her to consider graduate school after finishing. Vincent continued to support her in every way, never overshadowing her accomplishments but always celebrating them. He was her partner, her equal, her love. One evening, as they walked through the park where they had shared so many important moments, Rochelle stopped and looked at him. "Do you ever think about how we met? How all of this started?" "Every day. I was so broken then. So scared. I did not think I would ever be happy again. And now I am happier than I ever imagined possible." "You saved me, Vincent." "No," he said gently. "You saved yourself. I just opened the door and walked beside you." Rochelle smiled, leaning into him. "Then I am glad you opened that door." "Me too. Every single day, me too." They continued walking hand in hand, their future bright and full of promise. And Rochelle knew without a doubt that she had found what she had always been searching for. Love. Real, genuine, safe love. And a man who would spend the rest of his life proving that she deserved it. 2 years after Vincent had first noticed the bandage on Rochelle's face, they stood together in the grand ballroom of the city's finest hotel. The annual domestic violence fundraiser was bigger than ever, with over 500 guests in attendance. But this year was different. This year Rochelle was not just attending. She was speaking. The executive director of the shelter had asked her months ago if she would be willing to share her story publicly. It had taken Rochelle weeks to decide, hours of discussion with Dr. Chin, and long conversations with Vincent and Tamara. Finally she had said yes. Because her story could help someone else. Because silence protected abusers and endangered victims. Because she was strong enough now to face the truth and share it. The evening began with dinner and the usual speeches. Vincent gave his annual address, but this time he introduced someone new. 2 years ago I met a woman who changed my life. She reminded me why this cause matters. She showed me the power of courage, resilience, and hope. Tonight she is going to share her story with you. Please welcome Rochelle Bradford, Director of Operations at Bradford Tech Industries, and my wife. The applause was thunderous as Rochelle walked to the podium. She wore a red dress, her favorite color, and her wedding ring sparkled under the lights. Her hands shook slightly as she gripped the edges of the podium, but her voice was steady when she began to speak. 2 years ago I was a janitor working the night shift, trying to stay invisible, trying to survive. I was in a relationship that was slowly destroying me, but I felt trapped. I had a daughter to support, bills to pay, and nowhere safe to go. I wore long sleeves to hide bruises. I made excuses for black eyes. I believed I deserved the pain because I had been told so many times that I did. The room was silent, everyone listening intently. One night, after a particularly bad incident, I showed up to work wearing a bandage on my face. My boss, Vincent Bradford, noticed. And instead of looking away, instead of assuming it was not his place to get involved, he asked me what happened. He offered help. And when I tried to refuse, he insisted. Rochelle paused, gathering her emotions. That night changed everything. Vincent took me to the hospital. He arranged safe housing. He connected me with a lawyer and a counselor. He made sure my daughter and I had everything we needed to rebuild our lives. And he never asked for anything in return. She looked out at the audience, seeing tears on many faces. I am telling you this not to embarrass Vincent or to make myself seem pitiful. I am telling you this because someone in this room tonight knows someone who is suffering in silence. Someone at your workplace, in your neighborhood, in your family. And I want you to know that your intervention can save a life. Your willingness to ask questions, to offer help, to refuse to look away can be the difference between life and death. The applause started, but Rochelle held up her hand. I am not finished. Because this story is not just about Vincent's kindness. It is about what happened after. It is about the hard work of healing. The therapy sessions where I faced my trauma. The legal battles to keep my abuser away. The slow process of learning to trust again. None of that was easy. But it was possible because I had support. She glanced at Vincent, who was watching her with pride and love. Today I am not just a survivor. I am thriving. I have a college degree. I have a career I love. I have a daughter who is confident and happy and safe. I have a husband who treats me with respect and kindness every single day. And I have hope for the future. Rochelle's voice grew stronger. That is what tonight is about. Hope. The shelter we are supporting tonight provides that hope to hundreds of people every year. They provide safety, resources, counseling, legal assistance, and most importantly, they provide belief. They say, we believe you, we will help you, you deserve better. Your donations tonight will fund that work. They will save lives. She paused, her final words clear and powerful. I am standing here tonight as proof that it is never too late to ask for help. It is never too late to leave. It is never too late to rebuild. And if you are out there suffering in silence, please know this. You are not alone. Help is available. You deserve safety. You deserve peace. You deserve love. And there are people willing to fight for you until you are strong enough to fight for yourself. The standing ovation lasted several minutes. People were crying, reaching for tissues, hugging each other. When Rochelle finally stepped away from the podium, Vincent was there, pulling her into his arms. I am so proud of you, he whispered. I could not have done it without you. Yes, you could have. But I am glad I got to be part of it. The fundraiser raised over $1 million that night, double the previous year's total. Person after person came up to Rochelle, thanking her for her courage, sharing their own stories, asking how they could help someone they knew. One woman, probably in her 40s with tears streaming down her face, gripped Rochelle's hand. That is my sister. She is in that situation right now. I've been too afraid to say anything. But tomorrow I am going to talk to her. I am going to offer help. Do it, Rochelle said. Please. It might save her life. Later that evening, back at their home, a beautiful house they had bought together in a safe neighborhood with good schools, Rochelle found Vincent in Amara's room. He was reading her a bedtime story, and the 10-year-old was already half asleep. Rochelle leaned against the doorframe, watching the two people she loved most in the world. When Vincent finished the story and kissed Amara goodnight, he joined Rochelle in the hallway. She is growing up so fast, he said. I know. Sometimes I look at her and I cannot believe she is mine. That we are here. That this is our life. They walked downstairs together, arms around each other. The house was quiet, peaceful, safe. Everything Rochelle had once dreamed of but never believed she could have. Do you remember that first night? Vincent asked. In my office? Every detail. You refused to let me refuse your help. Best decision I ever made. Mine too. Accepting that help. Trusting you. Vincent pulled her close. I love you, Rochelle Bradford. I love you too. They stood there in their living room, the life they had built surrounding them. Photos on the walls showed their wedding day, family vacations, Amara's school achievements. The mantle held Rochelle's college degree and her Employee of the Year award from Bradford Tech. What are you thinking about? Vincent asked. About how far we have come. About how none of this seemed possible 2 years ago. About how grateful I am that you saw me that night. Really saw me. I will always see you, Rochelle. Every single day. She smiled and kissed him. I know. And that is why I love you. Later, after Vincent had gone to bed, Rochelle stood at the window looking out at their neighborhood. Lights glowed in houses up and down the street. Behind each window was a story. Some happy, some struggling, some suffering in silence. She thought about the woman at the fundraiser who was going to help her sister. She thought about all the people at the shelter who would receive assistance because of tonight's donations. She thought about her own journey from victim to survivor to someone who could help others. Tomorrow she had a meeting with the shelter's executive director. They wanted Rochelle to join the board of directors, to use her story and her experience to shape programs and policies. She had already said yes. Next month she would start her graduate program, working toward an MBA. Vincent had encouraged her to apply, and the company was covering the full cost. In the spring, she and Vincent were planning to start the process of adopting a child. Amara had been asking for a sibling, and both of them felt their family was not quite complete yet. The future stretched ahead, full of possibilities. Full of hope. Full of love. Rochelle whispered a prayer of gratitude, The same prayer she whispered every night. Thank you for Vincent. Thank you for safety. Thank you for second chances. Thank you for showing me that I deserve good things. Then she turned from the window and went upstairs to bed, where Vincent was waiting for her. Where their daughter slept peacefully down the hall. Where their home was filled with warmth and laughter and love. She climbed into bed and Vincent pulled her close. Good night, love. Good night. And as she drifted off to sleep, Rochelle smiled. Because she was home. She was safe. She was loved. And she was proof that kindness could change everything. Rochelle's story is proof that accepting help when you need it most can transform your entire life. Have you or someone you know experienced the power of compassion? Subscribe and share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be the encouragement someone else needs to reach out for help. National Domestic Violence Hotline. 1-800-799-7233. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is available. You deserve safety, support, and hope.